Teofila Silberring was born in Krakow, Poland in 1925. She had an older brother named Henrik who was extremely gifted. She lived in a nice apartment with her family and a nanny who spoke English and German. The apartment was on Miodowa Street, a street filled with secular Jewish scholars. Across the street was the Temple Synagogue, a Reform congregation that was led by Ozaj Thon, a Zionist and deputy to the Polish Sejm. She went to temple on every holiday and on Shabbat. On Shabbat, her mother always lit the candles and made fish and challah for dinner. Every Saturday, they had chicken soup with noodles, gefilte fish, and aspic jelly, but they were not traditional Jews. Her mother was shot in 1939 in their home as Nazis were taking away their family's furniture. They were not able to have a funeral, and she was buried in a mass grave. During the war, Teofila was sent out by her father to get supplies. Jews were not allowed to shop, and store owners could not sell to Jews, yet some store owners would give supplies. After Teofila's mother died, her aunt took her in. Eventually, they went to Padro's ghetto. She was in one room with 4 families, divided by wardrobes. During this time, her father worked in the hospital. Teofila was able to work in a carbide factory as her dad got her papers that made her 2 years older. She often worked 3 shifts, coming home to an empty house as her father was at work. Once the ghetto was liquidated in 1943 and Teofila was transported to Plaszow, she was put in a separate barrack from her brother and father and lost touch with them. She was quickly transferred to Schindler's factory, another branch of the camp. Here, she was given food and treated better. Once the camp was liquidated, Teofila was to be sent to Auschwitz, but Schindler would not let the Jews be transported. They waited until wagons arrived and were sent to Birkenau. She was then taken to the gas chambers, but then she was sent back. But eventually, she was sent to the main Auschwitz. In Auschwitz, she was used for vaccine testing due to her better health. She was being injected with typhus constantly. She remained here until the liquidation of Auschwitz. Soon after, she was forced on a death march to Leipzig. On the march, they had to help each other survive. They walked in rows of 4. The 2 on the outside supported the 2 on the inside, so they could sleep as they walked. Once she arrived, she was transferred again to Buchenwald. There, she worked for the ammunition factory, but she was soon transferred again to Ravensbrück. The conditions in Ravensbrück were so bad, she often prayed to be sent back to Auschwitz. She stayed in the tent of the barrack. 200 people were put into a tent meant for 4 or 5 people. Typhus ran rampant throughout the camp, so the Germans sent the healthy to Malchow. Teofila was liberated by the Russians in 1944. After the war, she was sent to the local chief counselor and requested to go back to Poland. She returned in Poland in July. No one in her family survived the war. She ended up staying with family friends. She enrolled in a school at the age of 20 and went to college to study chemistry. She met her husband, Adam Silberring, in 1946 and got married in 1947. When the interview took place, they were celebrating their 57th anniversary. She had a son named Jerry in 1949. Teofila still lived in Krakow when her interview took place.